Hey everybody, welcome back to Sensei Steve Says, hosted by Shiage Do Martial Arts. Today we're going to be working on some heavy bag workouts to work on your front kicks and your side kicks. We're going to start off real quick first with your front kicks. Now a front kick, for those of you who don't necessarily practice that often, are probably the simplest and most effective kick that you can do in a self-defense situation. And all it is picking your knee up, kicking out straight, bringing it back, and setting it down. It's that simple, okay? The benefits of this kick is it goes straight into your opponent. So if they're trying to rush you or anything like that, you don't have to worry about sidestepping or turning your body. If I'm facing the thing that's coming at me, all I've got to do is pick my foot up and I can lean forward and push with my bottom foot. Now, quick note on that, be real careful when you're doing your front kicks to keep your full foot planted on the floor. As soon as I go up on my toes and pull my heel off the ground, my balance significantly decreases, right? So it's a significant hindrance to my balance to try to balance on just your toes. All right, if you don't believe me, try standing on one foot and then going up on your toes. It's not super easy. It's hard to stay there and then throwing a kick from there, you lose even more, right? So I want to keep that foot planted, but it's just a front kick, okay? It comes out, pops out, and comes right back. Now, what I want to do is I want to practice just doing my front kick 50 to 100 times with both legs, right? So from a good haikadachi stance, right, without necessarily putting my feet there, all I want is my 50-50 weight distribution, and I want to be able to kick from either leg without too much in the way of shifting. Okay, I want to keep my balance pretty well centered so that I can get that kick to really pop and whip. Okay, so 50 to 100 with each leg for that. If you're doing that, you're going to do 10 for form and then start working up full power. Then what we're going to do is we're going to change them a little bit to make them kind of a cross between a front kick and a roundhouse kick. Now a traditional roundhouse kick, you start with your front or back foot. You're going to lead with your knee and kick with the top of your foot if you're hitting a soft target, or if you're doing more of like a Muay Thai or a Kickboxing kick, you kick with the top of your the bottom of your shin and this part right here. All right, so there's the top of my foot. I'd kick with this part of my shin right here. If you're doing more of a kung fu style roundhouse kick, you're gonna kick with your toes here. And that's closer to where we're going with this one, okay? So the goal with this one is just like in Suin-Sukata or lower body basic number 9, when we do our shift kicks, right? When we lean off to the side and I do my kick, it's gonna come up at an angle, okay? Now the benefit of being able to kick at an angle is to be able to get around somebody's guard. So if they've got their guard sitting here, to be able to come up and under their rib cage is going to basically walk around their guard. If their guard's not moving, obviously there's a lot of points to this, but as with everything else, timing is king. So from here, you're going to start with your knee pointed at your target, but when you come up with your foot, it's going to come from an angle. Now, if you practice with some good hip flexibility, right, you can do these kicks from the outside pretty easily, but you can also do these kicks from the inside. That one works really well, especially for me. I found it in sparring, is if I'm really in close here, right, if I'm doing stuff, I'm effectively in knee smash range, or maybe just out of knee smash range, right, I can get that kick to pop, right, while I'm still, they're still worried about my hands. So I can practice that kick on the inside. Alright, so I got the outside, the inside, and the center. Okay, so what you're going to do for this is now you're going to practice outside, inside, center, other foot, outside, inside, center. Take these slow, especially that inside kick. If it's not something that you do very often, you're going to take them slow so that you can get a feel for what it is your knee's supposed to be doing without like trashing your hip. Okay, now a couple points to note about these kicks. If I get my hips into this outside kick is going to have significant more power, or a significant amount more power, right? Because I got my hips in this rotation, right? if I can get my hips rotating this way, right, I can get this front kick here to have significant more power. A lot of that's going to be from just a little bit of a lean back, okay? This inside kick here is really difficult to get that kind of power from, because what you need to effectively do is kick off the inside of your leg. It's going to be a little tricky. You're going to have to feel around for it to get it to pop right. But the other thing is, the whole purpose of this kick is to be a surprise. Okay? It's an angle that you don't really expect to kick from. It's got a decent amount of power because it's coming from your leg, right? And even if I can only get my quad and my calf into this kick, right, it's still going to hurt more than nothing. And it's still going to hurt more than a punch, right? But it's not going to be as powerful as like a back leg roundhouse kick would be. It's just not. You don't have the body mechanics to support that. But what you do have is a target that's not particularly well protected, giving you a new angle on and going after that. Okay, so just keep that in mind, that you come up to the inside here. And it's kind of like the start of a crescent kick, where you would kick with the side of your foot, except you're kicking with your toes. Okay? So practice that one. Again, 50 to 100 sets. So front kick is 1. 50 to 100. The whole point of doing kicks is you want to do a lot of them. You want to get your body used to doing them and figuring out where you can speed up. Okay? If I do a regular front kick like I'm teaching my white belts, I'm going to pick my knee up, I'm going to kick, I'm going to set, I'm going to come down. Up, kick, set, down. Up, kick, set, down. Right? And it's very choppy. Right? But when I'm working with my black belts, it's pop, pop. Right? Because I want that kick to be like a back fist. Okay? And I might even try kick. Okay? Being able to pop between, is it this kick, and how do I move between them, that little bit of speed there is going to help me in my sparring and in my self-defense. The next one I start getting into with that is going to be doing low kicks, right? Like I'm kicking out somebody's knee. So this one's going to be more for a self-defense target, right? But it's still the same kick. Now for these, like I got my heavy bag here, I've got this nice hard plastic bit at the bottom. Mine's filled with concrete, not hardened concrete, but concrete sand. That gives it a little extra rigidity, and I don't have to worry about it leaking on my living room floor if I kick it too hard. Fun fact, if you've never owned a karate school, or you've never owned one of these things, they all leak. It's just a matter of time. You get one guy who starts kicking them a couple good times, you get somebody who's got a little bit of power in them, bang, you start cracking the seams and they start leaking on the floor. It's inevitable. It happens to all of them. My suggestion, fill it with concrete sand, right? Just like regular powdered mortar or whatever. Keep it nice and dry. You can empty it later if you want to, but you don't have to worry about it leaking on your floor. Also, if it starts leaking, you can pull all the water out of it. Try to let it dry real good, and then fill it with concrete sand. It works great. But so for these with that hard base, or if you have a hanging bag, especially the old canvas ones, what tends to happen is all the sand and stuff falls to the bottom, so the bottom of the bag tends to be super, super dense. This is what we're going to do. You're just conditioning the ball of your foot, right? So I'm not necessarily kicking this thing as hard as I can. I'm just kicking something solid. So for this one, foot position is absolutely the most important thing. I don't have to kick this very hard. In fact, when I first start, I'm not going to be kicking it hard at all. I'm probably just going to be touching it, right? But I want to work my way up so that I turn the ball of my foot part into a hammer. Okay, that's what I want. So I'm going to kick the bottom of my bag, the hardest part of my bag. If you don't have a bag, you're working on a tree. Normally you would have like a rope or some kind of like jute twine or something like that wrapped around the tree. Do these kicks without anything, right? You're just going to kick at the bottom. Now, if it's a live tree, put something there just so that you're not damaging the tree. Again, I've said this a couple times. Trees are great. Dead trees are everywhere. Find a dead tree. Don't worry about a live one, okay? Especially in upstate New York, we have all these ash trees that are getting killed by the emerald ash borers and stuff like that. Dead trees are everywhere. Go find a nice ash tree that's dead and beat that up. Don't worry about finding a new tree or a nice tree or a living tree, because you might hurt it, and we really do need trees in the world. 4 tree houses. But not the point. So you're going to do these low kicks. And this one's, again, it's just going to be starting for form, right? Building up that conditioning. And you're going to do 50 to 100 with both legs. Work yourself up. Start light. Work up to a real good kick. The next one we're going to do is 100% speed. Okay? It's going to be aiming for the pocket, right? So if you want, what you can do is line yourself up with your bag. Figure out where your normal front pocket, your jeans pocket would be, right? Mark that off on the bag, right? I've got my little 6 here at the bottom with a piece of tape, right? And my goal is going to be just to do kicks there, okay? So they're going to be quick from a neutral position to a kick. Neutral position to a kick. And the goal for this is to have speed first, power second. So you want to be hitting it as fast as you possibly can, but you still want to have some power. Now if you're hitting like this kind of bag, what you'll notice is if you're kicking here in this the middle part, you'll actually start pushing this thing across the floor pretty quick. Okay, I recommend raising your bag so that it's high enough up so your kick is at the bottom. Maybe not the very bottom, but close to the bottom. You can see where my piece of tape is. It's very close to the bottom, but if it was, within about 6 inches, that's what you want, so that you can push it across. If you have this thing all the way down, your target's going to be the same, but the bag's not going to move the same. You really want it to be a little bit higher to get that, to encourage that movement. Okay. Also, it helps to visualize having a little bit of a taller opponent. Somebody who's about your size. So if your bag's significantly shorter than you, that kind of takes you out of the fight a little bit. With that, we're going to get Sifu in here, and we're going to do the next part. So for this next drill, I got Sifu here with me. We're just going to be doing those same front kicks that we've been doing, except this time he's moving around. Okay, so on a heavy bag, if you have a bag that swings, that's going to be helpful. If you don't, then you can either grab a partner to either hit the bag, or if they can pick up the other side for you. And all you're just doing is, as it's moving around, throwing that front kick. All right. For these, you want to practice speed, right? So up till now, we've been working on power. For these, you want to be fast, because what I want is that kick to come back, right? While he's moving around, right? So I'm going to try probably 20 kicks with each leg as fast as I can possibly move them, and we're going to move on to side kicks. For this next part, what we're going to work on is our side kicks, okay? So for our side kicks, we're going to start just with a normal side kick. I'm standing sideways to the bag, knee comes up in front of me, I kick out to the side, aiming with the, mostly my heel, but it's the side of my foot towards my heel. So if I take my leg, or if you think about cankles, right? I want to kick with the part of the side of my foot that lines up with my ankle and my cankle, right? If I kick with my toes, what's going to happen is I'm going to put a lot of force into that, and it's going to crank my foot sideways, and that's going to cause some damage to my ankle. I don't want that. What I do want is to be able to drive everything through it, but I want to make that force into as small of an area as possible. Remember, force equals mass times acceleration, so we got my whole leg going as fast as it can. That gives me a lot of force, right? Then pressure, right, which is the force that's actually delivered to my target, is force divided by area. So if I have a large area, like I'm kicking with the whole bottom of my foot, that's going to deliver less pressure, so less of my force makes it to there, than if I kick with the side of my foot, right? Or now instead of having a big palm, now I have a blade, right? And it cuts that area significantly. So I want to make sure I'm hitting with the right part of my foot. So the first 10 or 15 of these with each leg should be nice and slow. Touch, in, down. Up, touch, in, down. Try to keep your guard in a consistent spot when you're doing this. Kick, kick, kick. Okay? So 10 to 15 of those. Then you work up to your full power kicks. Ready? Right, where you're blasting them as hard as you can. You want it to have that speed also. So you're going to do about 50 with each leg again with these, and we'll move on to our next thing. The next one's going to be what's called a burning foot side kick. This one comes from Jeet Kune Do. This was one of Bruce Lee's favorite kicks. You even see him do it in a movie, in Enter the Dragon, when he does this like hop kick to kick O'Hara in the big black belt fight scene at the beginning of the movie, or I guess that's the middle of the movie. But you see him do one of these hopping foot things, like his foot's on fire. So it's called the burning foot side kick. So all it is you're gonna touch hop, and when you finish that hop, you're already kicking. So it happens nice and quick. So when I'm doing this, it's gonna go hop, kick, hop, kick. Right? I practice that slow a little bit, and then I go quick. With this one, it's again very powerful. It's a very fast kick. I get a lot of forward momentum going in there, but the timing is going to be the hardest part. Okay, so get that timing right. It goes step hop, step hop, step hop kick, step hop kick. Okay, so work that out. Again, do it a couple times to get the form in, to get the timing right, and then work it about 50 times total. So do it about 10 to 15 times, nice and slow, then work yourself up for some speed. Next, what we're going to do is our low-high side kicks. Okay, for this one's especially for sparring, but you could use it in a fight too. This one is kicking low, then kicking high, or kicking high, then kicking low. Basically, if you rechamber your kick, you can do 2 kicks in a row without any extra time being wasted in the middle by putting your foot all the way on the ground. So what you're going to do is kick, kick. Okay, nice and easy. 1, 2. You can pick with 2 different targets. You can pick 2 times at the same target. What this is really doing is, if you've never sparred before, because most people figure this one out pretty naturally, when you get that kick and they go like this, their guard's going to move, right? Because they don't want to take that kick again. And then you kick them someplace else, so if they kick me in the ribs and I go, ow, right, and I bring my guard down here a little bit, I'm still recoiling from the first kick, right, my hips are coming out of the way, and then he kicks towards my face, right, that one works really well. The high-low, he's going to kick towards my face, and I kind of lean away, that leaves my ribs open, he gets that second one in there. The 2 at the same place tends to be either towards the end of a fight, or towards a skilled opponent, where if you kick them, boom, and they either take it on their guard or they just don't move. Okay, so they see it coming and they kind of like lean into it a little bit. You're going to do that same kick again, because as they're breathing in to recover, right, because that takes a lot of force and energy to go and stop a kick like that. As they go at the end of that, you're going to kick them again, and that's where that force is going to be multiplied. Okay, because now they're inhaling, they're not ready for that hit. So your hit that you do deliver is going to be significantly more. So again, practice it low, high, or 2 in the same spot, but you're going to mix them up, right? So high, low, high, middle. All right, mix them up. 50 sets with each leg, okay? By the time we're done with this, you're going to be doing a lot of kicks. I understand that, but it's good for you. The last one we're going to do before bringing Sifu back in here is our defensive kicks. This one works really well when you're in way too close for your normal kicking distance. Just like my front kick, where I can come in at a weird angle and kind of catch them on surprise, I'm going to get my side kick so I can kick from a range that nobody's expecting a kick to come from. The trick to this one is, where is my chamber coming from? So from here, right, almost shoulder to shoulder to this bed, right, I'm elbow distance. If I pick my knee up in front of me, and then I chamber it away, again, my shoulders haven't moved here, I have enough room to blast this kick. It's kind of like a hybrid between a side kick and a back kick, right? But from this elbow range, right, I can get this solid kick in here, right, and it comes up. I can get it up to solar plex height because of the way my knee bends, okay? So you can get it up and you can push, You can kick to the pocket and push. Both of these are solid options. All right, so nice and easy. Get uncomfortably close to this bag. You shouldn't feel like you should be able to do a side kick from here. All right, pick your knee up, and you should also be able to do it with your feet starting together. Right? If you can do it with your feet starting together, you can literally do it with your feet anywhere. Right? From here, kick. Again, you're gonna practice that one 10 to 15 times, nice and slow. Get your form right. Bring it up to 50 times, working at full power. You should have a good sweat. We'll get Sifu in here. Excuse me. We'll get Sifu in here, and we'll do one more with a bag that's moving. All right, so I'm back with Sifu now. For these side kicks, they're going to be just like the front kicks we were doing. Okay, they're all going to be for speed. So what I want to try to do is kind of mix up the burning foot side kick with kind of a defensive side kick, so I can just pop it up quickly without too much body shifting. Because if he's moving quick, right, as he is right now, right, I need to be able to find that target and move it around. Now I've still got targets on these with numbers, right? So if you're really looking for something extra to do, if Sifu knows that 4, 3, and 5 are my bottom 3 numbers, and those are the ones that I'm working on right now, as he's moving around, he can just say the number
4, 5, 3.
Right? And I can practice doing those kicks like that. Again, you want to practice about 10 or 15 with each foot for as fast as you possibly can. All right? All right, everybody, so that's our front kicks and side kicks for today. Make sure you get a bunch of repetitions in. These are both great kicks to use for sparring and self-defense, okay? So if you have the opportunity to spend a little bit of time practicing these at home, they're great. They're a great use of that time to get those kicks faster and stronger. All right? With that, that's all I got. Thanks for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Keep on getting after it. You are dismissed. Us!